When you think of Junji Ito, what is the story that often gets mentioned the most? With Silent Hill F having been released almost 2 weeks ago, I figured I'd go over the story from Junji Ito that has one of, if not the most memed scenes in all of his writing, that being, "This hole was made for me." A scene from the story, The Enigma of Amigara Fault. Now, for those who know the meme, the story itself is rather interesting, so today we will go over it in earnest. So, what is the story behind the Enigma at Amigara Fault? Well, instead of just going through the entire thing, let's just talk a little bit about it. So, the main idea behind the story takes place an untold number of years before the beginning of the actual story that was told, where one of the main characters, that being Owaki, committed a severe crime, and in this universe and timeline, committing such a severe crime has the punishment of being put into a human-shaped hole in the side of a cliff, and your body gets contorted beyond normal human measurements, and it is unclear as to what you become afterwards. However, you still remain alive, just you are now in agony. The main character, Owaki, along with the gal that he gets there with, end up in these holes. And one of the things that is consistent is that every person that ends up in one of the holes are compelled to take off nearly all their clothes apart from their undergarments, which is an odd thing, but whatever. Now, how are they being pulled toward these holes? It's more so a psychological thing. Something in their mind tells them that they have to be punished in this manner, at least from what I speculate. As nothing is actually stated outright in the actual story. There are actually some scientists that show up and try to figure out just how deep these holes are, and they're 30 foot, or I think it was 30 feet. Well, they're fiber cables that have cameras in them. Can't actually determine how far in the hole goes, but it's quite something. Actually, I think it was the Tumblr post that I remember seeing. It was like, yeah, I have claustrophobia. Why am I reading this? But I remember reading this years and years ago, and it's one of the two that I knew offhand before recently. So the other one being Uzumaki, but that'll be for another time if I cover that one. So yeah, I will leave a link to where you can read it, and you can get a hardback cover version of it as well. But I wanted to talk about that story from Junji Ito a little bit. But next week we will cover issue number 3 of Power Rangers Prime. So be on the lookout for that. And until next time, everybody. Goodbye.